That was The Doors, live from the Isle of Wight Festival. This is Russell Brand, live from the Isle of Wight. And it is a kind of festival, I suppose, if you consider Matt Morgan staggering around with a fire extinguisher to be a festival, which certainly the people of the Isle of Wight do. He's my co-host, he's sat over there. Matt Morgan, hello.
Hello, everyone.
You shouted that and it sounded loud to me.
I'm trying to be up.
Well, there's up and then there's shouting. Two distinct things.
You have turned into such a granddad,
Have I? Do you think I've turned into a granddad?
Boring old git.
This is the Russell Brand show, because I've not announced that yet, because I'm so...
Yes, you have.
Have I? Did I say that?
Old granddad.
Oh, sorry. Where's my false teeth?
This is the radio.
The nurses is taking my money.
The voice is coming from a machine.
When I get a bed bath, the nurse does it too rough, because she's not married. That is what happens at some old folks' home. We've got a bloody good show coming up for you. We're actually using the studios of Isle of Wight Radio, right? So perhaps listen to some of that. At some point we are going to go in. What's going to happen, Matt? I'm going into an Isle of Wight Radio show.
Well, there's a show going on, being done here, a Soul Show, from 10 o'clock onwards.
Soul Show.
I think you should go in there, and then we can switch to their output.
And we'll be listening. So people will be listening to the Russell Brand show live on BBC Radio 2, but they'll get the output of Isle of Wight Radio.
But I reckon legally,
I'm a guest.
You're a guest.
I'll be a guest, so I can be really responsible.
So you could pretty much say anything.
I can say what I like.
Racist. Inflammatory.
Lot of incendiary views on race. This is the platform I've been waiting for. Some of my pretty bonkers views are going to come out. I've got no bonkers views on race. Right, let's say some proper things now so you all know what's going on. This is BBC Radio 2, online on digital on 88 and 91 FM, right? So get that through your heads. Also, if you want to text us, you can, 88291, or you can email russell.brand@bbc.co.uk. Later on, David Icke's coming on. He came round our house, didn't he, a bit earlier?
Yes.
Had a cup of tea with his
I was
lovely
asleep.
son.
I woke up, David Icke arrived.
I know, and I was really self-conscious that you, because Matt sleeps all through the day, only comes out at night to smash up priceless heirlooms in our mansion house, right? I was aware that comes out, that's radio when you start fiddling around with that.
Look at you, you've changed. Right, listen, I let off this fire extinguisher. It was stupid. A load of people were drunk. Then Russell came up and goes, okay, guys, listen, you've all gone too far, okay? When alarms start going off, you know you've gone too far, okay? So let's all just sit down and have a little think about it. Gave us a speech. And then the next night came up to me, goes, I've said this to everyone. Let's not go mad tonight. Yeah. That's it. Let's have fun. Yeah, good fun.
You're a good kid. I like you. I've got a lot of time for you. Just don't go too far. You know, I had a period myself when I was pretty crazy on the old drugs. I must have took 10 or 11 drugs, and one night I got quite a nosebleed off of them.
He kept saying, it's the wrong road. You're going down the wrong road, guys. It's the wrong road. It only leads... You make that decision, you're going on the wrong road.
That's the wrong road. Throwing that snooker ball's the wrong road. Yeah, well, you were going down the wrong road.
Well, everyone started mucking about playing snooker and putting statues from around the house on the snooker table and then playing round them. It is a bit stupid.
Wrong road.
Oh.
Wrong road.
Oh, the Lord of the Manor walked in. Oh, no, guys. Hey, guys. Statues on the snooker table.
Come on. That's no place for a statue.
Some of us are over 30.
These statues are to be revered. That one's of Christ. Those ones are Beatrice Potter characters, but nonetheless deserve respect. Beatrice Potter, did she die in vain? Did Peter Rabbit steal them vegetables for nothing? Of course he didn't.
You don't even know what I did on the first night.
What did you do on the first night?
I broke something and it was cleaned up without you knowing.
What did you break, you dirty little pig?
I jumped on the swimming pool and the cover was on it and ripped it.
You idiot. Why did you do that?
It was fixed.
You broke the cover?
No,
right.
the straps.
Why did you... I told you not to do things like that so many times. Don't jump on the thing to swim. Well, what's the matter with you?
This is payback for all the times you were absolutely abominable.
Name 9 abominable things I've done now, off the top of your head, that I've done while I was a junkie. Go on.
Let's just say the first one is making me buy heroin.
That is... naughty to do that to a friend.
Getting us sacked from a job when I had to go on the dole. In fact, I didn't even go on the dole because every week, no, don't go on the dole. We'll be in work in a week.
It's going to be great. It's going to be cushy. We'll be
2 months. 2 months with no income.
Yeah.
Just a head full of dreams. And an idiot
I was
on the
piping
phone.
dreams into his head down the phone.
Can we keep going?
Yes, I don't reckon you can get to 5.
Stealing women off me.
What women?
Some Icelandic woman I once fancied.
Icelandic?
Right, I was with this woman. Russell turned up. Then he was chatting to her for about 2 seconds, and I was going, I like that girl. Oh, right, okay. One day, he goes, I'll pick you up, I'm in a taxi. He came round my house, and then he phoned me out and goes, oh, don't be upset. You know that girl you like? She's with me, but it's not what you think. And I got in the car, it was a terrible atmosphere.
Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah, that was wrong. Sorry about that. Anything else?
I don't know, I'll keep thinking.
All right, you keep thinking
I'm
about...
weeding out things that can't be broadcast.
Yeah, we're going, as you go on, and heroin and...
Yes, on your DVD, I said, don't put in that anecdote about us getting fluids on each other. Please don't do it. I watch the DVD like a diligent friend, get all the way through it, get to the end, and then my name comes up in that context.
Yeah. Good though, wasn't it?
Behind my back.
What a smash
Abuse
hit.
of power. So when you walk around your estate telling people, come on guys, tidy up, wind your neck in.
So I was a bit... What I was worried about... All right, sorry about the things I've done in the past. Now, what I was worried about is when you woke up, I was very conscious that when you come down into the manor house, that I was laying on... Because I'd gone out, popped out to the kitchen, someone took the chair I was sitting in, so when I came back, I thought, don't make the person move out their chair. That would be what Idi Amin would do. So I thought, just lay on the floor on some cushions. So I lay on some cushions, and then David Icke was explaining stuff to me, and I heard you come in, and I thought, oh no, Matt's just come in and I'm lying on cushions at David Icke's feet. He's going to think I've gone like, woohoo, David Icke.
Well, I did hear say, David, I'm not fit to tie your shoelaces.
David,
but can I play with them?
Can I pretend they're spaghetti, like, you know, in Ladies and the Tramp, right? But there's just some ladies, one tramp, and then they suck up all sketty, don't they? And then they kiss at the end of the sketty. Let's do that, but with your shoelaces, and I'll just be twizzling around on your toe. Yeah.
What, so you thought I'd walk in and think,
oh no, Russell's cracked. He's joined David Icke's band. He's cold. Well, David Icke will be coming in here later, so if you've got any questions for him, send them to us. And what we've got to do with David Icke is not let him say, and this is a direct quote, George Bush is a paedophile, as he said on the show last week, because things, I don't know, because maybe, what if George Bush ain't a paedophile? What kind of position's that going to put us in then? We're going to have egg all over our faces, aren't we, Matt, you and me? We're going to look a proper couple of plums if it turns out that...
Control your guest.
Control my guest. But when I'm on the Isle of Wight radio show over there...
Test their control.
That's when it's my new theories that George Bush is a paedophile. Not on this one, though. That was a quote. But when I'm on that one, George Bush is a paedophile.
You're an illegal quagmire.
I like a quagmire. Right, so, yeah, send us emails if you want to, russell.brand@bbc.co.uk, text if you want, 88291, and what else? You know, should we talk to Noel Gallagher? I ain't spoken for ages.
Yes, let's do that.
We'll ring Noel Gallagher if we can. We'll go through your emails. It's going to be a fantastic show. We got, what music? What should we listen to now?
I think we're going to listen to the Pixies, Monkey's Gone to Heaven. Monkey Gone to Heaven.
Which we're going to dedicate that to Sir Edmund Hillary. Because, you know, he climbed things. And
he climbed Everest?
Yeah, he got to the
monkey.
Monkeys climb things. He climbed thing, monkey climbed thing.
He evolved to that point and then climbed a mountain.
Exactly. Guess what, though? Paul, who works on the show, just told me that Edmund Hillary, when he come back, he goes, I've brought this Sherpa back with me, right? Like, because he liked the Sherpa. Well, the Sherpa didn't want to come back.
I'm sure he asked him.
Well, we don't know that. That's not documented.
Maybe he just sort of went... This is still the journey.
We're in the airport. Could I?
No, I'm lost and confused.
What's that? What's that button? Smoking? No smoking? I can't do up my seatbelt. Look, I've my children. I'm confused. I miss my children.
Come on. I'll tell you when it's finished.
Do I get the Piccadilly line here or the Central line? I'm very, very confused. You'll stay with me to the end. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? And perhaps now he should be buried with him in his coffin, like when a dog once was. I think things like that happen.
No, maybe on his deathbed he's went, you're relieved. We've arrived.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good work. No, what if, and these final words were, you've let me down. This wasn't what I wanted to do. I've never
felt more lost.
I blame you for this. Right, so yeah.
Worst Sherpa.
You're a disgrace to the Sherbets.
It's weird. Sherbets? You idiot.
I changed
You ain't
it.
never been up no mountain.
I've been up the mountain before. I liked it up there. I looked for miles around. Right, okay, come on, let's listen to a record. Stop dilly-dallying, because we're not getting anywhere, are we?
Right, we'll just say when you're ready.
Getting towards being ready about now! That was the Pixies, This Monkey's Gone to Heaven. You're listening to Russell Brand live on BBC Radio 2. We're coming from the Isle of Wight. I'm here, of course, with my co-host, Matt Morgan. Hello there, Matt.
Hello, Russell.
Just started the show again.
I know.
I forgot we've been on.
It's a recap.
Was that a recap?
It was a recap until you said hello again.
Recap! Mr. G's over there, poet laureate of the show. You right, G?
Yep.
Got a new hat on there, haven't you?
Cowboy, riding,
We've gone pastoral rural. We've been doing rural pursuits, haven't we?
We have, actually.
Shooting, we done?
Shooting. Petter might want to be informed.
Yeah, well, I didn't shoot actual animals, did I?
But you wanted to.
I was very keen.
Russell found out he was actually very good at shooting.
Yeah, I'm good at shooting. I'm quite a good marksman. But
David, what if it was a real bird? Would its head come off?
David, would we been smothered in blood by now? The bloke that was teaching us, he was really nice to us, wasn't he?
He was brilliant, wasn't he? Oh, go on, you're going to get it this time.
That's right. And he was wearing all sort of rural country sort of clothes, like a barber jacket and sort of wellies and a nice sort of cap and everything.
Yeah. The sort of thing a few years ago, we'd go, oh, you idiot, look at you.
Yeah, but now
once you start doing those things,
that's
you realise
why the establishment is successful, because you get seduced into it. As soon as you've got a bit of money, you think, right, I'm off shooting.
Yeah.
You do the revolution. I'm still definitely doing a revolution. We can use our guns to shoot people in power. So that's good, isn't it?
Oh, God.
Not that we're, you know...
Well, I'd be worried, actually, because you're a bit of a
I'm a
shot,
deadly marksman.
I'm good with a hand cannon. But I picked up, didn't I? I got
yeah, you
used to
did.
it.
That was good at the end. But what about when you had to be physically restrained? But it was really lovely, because that bloke, he did a demonstration for us. David, he's all sort of posh and gentle and really whispering words of encouragement. My mum was there with us as well. That's good. Oh, you're doing very well, to my mum and stuff, and to me. Oh, you're jolly good, and giving a pat on the back. You've really improved, and being all sweet to all of us. And then there's a bit where we goes, oh, David, can you show us you doing shooting, please? Can we see how good you are at it? Right, and he did some like there's a ridiculous thing where Matt goes, I want to see him shoot something nearby, right? Matt asked him to shoot a hill that was just near us.
I wanted to see how powerful the gun was.
Shoot that hill. Yeah, David couldn't even understand what he was being asked, because I mean, if you shot David, could you shoot something there? Could you shoot something there? Well, you couldn't shoot a person. I mean, that would be cruel, Matt. You couldn't understand what the question was.
I don't know why he thought I was asking him to shoot a person.
Probably because he couldn't understand the rationale of your line of interrogation.
David, Russell wishes to usurp you. Shoot him dead.
Shoot him. I think a kneecapping is a very listy design.
It was good though when he shot a riverbank and he went poof.
It was
good.
Shot a riverbank.
You
What's
loved
the point
it.
of shooting a riverbank? It didn't prove anything.
Game with the attitude. Hey guys, come on. We've gone shooting. Yeah. Let's just shoot at the old clay pigeons.
Whoa, we're going down the wrong road
It's
here.
the wrong road, Dave. David, don't give in to him. David, go back to your hut.
Have a little sit down, think about what shooting riverbanks is going to mean to, for example, Wind in the Willows. Mr. Toad might live in a riverbank, mightn't he? Right, there's a bit where he demonstrated his skills shooting some clays, which was wonderful to behold, brilliant. But there's one bit where he let it go right over his head because he weren't concentrating properly or something, and then he sort of craned right over backwards and sort of fired, and he was sort of leaning over, sort of like a standard lamp, leaning right over him.
Shot it perfectly.
Yeah, like a you, and shot it properly. And then sort of Matt was getting and then it was Matt's turn next, and Matt was
got
getting
angry with the thing. I shot one, and I missed the first one.
You missed the first one, yes. Then you got all worked up and frustrated as they sailed over it. Turned round 180 degrees with a shotgun, was going to shoot it at us. That was us. And David, it was really good, like he was dealing with a recalcitrant hound, just by a hand in front of him. No, you don't shoot your friends. Not under any circumstances.
Turn round 180 degrees. I arched backwards over.
You're brandishing a gun.
I know.
Like Lee Harvey Oswald craning round at us.
I know, it was stupid.
And then you did want to shoot the grassy knoll itself. Bloody ridiculous. Oh, there's people bowling in here now, some of our country companions. It's an absolutely preposterous way to live your life. We've got a text message here. Hey guys, how is the Isle of Wight? I once went there and got stuck on a chairlift at Allen Bay. Have fun, anonymous person. We like the Isle of Wight an awful lot, don't we?
Love it.
Because we've been living like toffs. That don't mean there ain't going to be a revolution. On the contrary, there is. Later on, David Icke will be on the show and he'll be giving us some advice on how to conduct our revolution, not least so we can persuade him not to accuse the President of the United States of being a nonce for 10 minutes.
You should stop saying it.
I know, I like saying it. I get off on saying that because I know it's a really naughty thing to keep saying George Bush is a paedophile, but knowing that, that's not my views or the views of the BBC, so even there I've done the legislative housework.
In that, by that rationale, is the younger Bush one of his victims?
in a way, he most likely nonced him. So that's probably why he's so cross about stuff. He keeps probably doing those wars against, terror and all that, because he's angry about the noncing. That's just stuff we're saying, not real things. In fact, you just imagine that. None of those things actually got said. This has all been a dream. Ooh, you're dreaming. Your radio's not even switched on, you lunatics. Hi, says Abby. Just met you outside the radio studio. Thank you very much for the autograph and the kiss. The autograph was a bit dodgy, seeing as though you spelt your name wrong. Aha. Well, I don't know why they're being mentioned. Hoping you're liking our lovely island weather. That's because, of course, it is fiercely raining here in the Isle of Wight. Also, my microphone stinks of perfume. Stinks of it.
That's good, isn't it?
No, because that's an unnatural thing. I don't like things to stink all unnatural, do you?
Mine smells of...
What?
Hair.
It smells of hair? Just what, nice hair?
No, hairbrush. You know that smell of a hairbrush?
Oh, I know the smell of a hairbrush. Only too well,
do you?
mate.
When was the last time you used one?
Ages ago. I don't do it. I don't get involved with it. There's just more congratulations from Victoria in Coventry saying how nice my buckle boots are. Splendid they are. Did you see me on Big Brother, Matt? Of course you did, because you were sat there with me giving me ideas to say. Good, wasn't it?
It was good.
Funny, wasn't it, when we'd done that Big Brother? Celebrity Hijack. It was worth doing it, wasn't we?
That was another instance of you being drunk on power.
Why was I drunk on power?
Because you had buttons, so you could open the doors, you could tell...
I loved it. All that power. Open a door, shut a door. I mean, you can do that if you're a doorman as well. So
but not from a distance of...
That's true. Unless you were dormant with a broom handle. And then,
But you could, you had voice of God, you could tell people what to do.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it. I loved manipulating those folks. And that's another example of you acting like a yob. When we was leaving to come on Isle of Wight, you went, "Here, let's ransack the caravan." We was in a nice little caravan.
I didn't. I said, let's nick the stuff out of the fridge.
Sweeping things off shelves with one arm movement. Whoosh, like that. Salt and pepper shakers went in there. Conch shell ornaments.
I opened the fridge
out of there.
Yeah, we should take all this. That's all I did.
Ridiculous things that people wouldn't need. Glade air fresheners. Other air fresheners are available. Preposterous it was to witness. Right, okay, later on the show we are... talking to David Icke. We'll try and get Noel Gallagher on the phone. I ain't bought my phone. You've got his number there. Have you got your phone, Matthew?
Yes.
Right, we'll ring up Noel Gallagher later. That's how we see how tightly this show's produced. The thought that goes into every moment. Also, I will be guesting on Isle of Wight Radio on... What's the name of the show, James?
The Alex Dyke Soul Show.
The Alex Dyke Soul Show. I will be appearing there with Alex Dyke as his guest, where I will not be responsible for my actions because I'm not the host. Alex Dyke will be host, where I'll be airing some of my controversial new views on the Bush family. Okay, so shall we listen to a record?
The Beatles, I think, is your choice.
The Beatles. These are a crazy bunch of fellas. I really predict they might do all right. Although, looking at David Icke's book, I see some of them have got a few dirty little secrets in the closet. I'm only mucking about. You've got to have a bit of fun with David Icke's views, otherwise our show would get boring, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we can't let him get too serious.
Can't let things get too serious. That's the thing. I do like people with really good, revolutionary theories and that want to overthrow the government, but, it's no point in overthrowing the government if things aren't going to be a right royal laugh.
If you joined up with David, who would be, most in charge?
Me!
Exactly.
Woohoo!
They did spend half a day at his feet.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, David, tell me more.
David, you like painting your toenails?
Doesn't matter, Man United winning 6-0. Listen to you.
I'm not interested in footballing. Oh, you're a goalkeeper. Oh, I love it. Jumping around. What colour gloves did you wear? What else? All right, should we listen to a record? Then we talk about something else. What record we listen?
We're going to listen to
the
the
Beatles.
You've lost it, haven't you?
I'm drinking caffeine to stay awake.
Come on. Let's go back to the mansion, have an early night, yeah? Let's not go too mad tonight, okay?
You broke a swimming pool cover. I didn't know about that.
It got fixed.
How did you? I bet you broke all the holes that holded it onto the thing.
How did it?
Oh, I don't know. Wait.
I jumped on it and the straps broke, and then I spoke to John, who is the man who.
You admitted it, did you?
Yeah, I did actually.
You came
I was going to
clean.
go and fix it. Then I thought, no, actually, I'll tell him about it, and said, "Have you got a screwdriver?" It just needed screwing back in. He did it. He said it took 5 minutes.
Our mansion's got a bar in it. Matt works behind that bar about 12 hours a day. He stands there swilling down booze. He calls it Matmos. I've never known you work so hard at anything in all the time I've known you. I've been working with you 10 years. I've never seen such dedication and commitment other than in your made-up world where you run a pub called Matmos.
Is it made up, or is it a real pub in a house where there's actual customers?
Well, when everyone else has gone to bed, I see you standing there on your own cleaning glasses having a pretend conversation with a cowboy ornament, an ornament of a cowboy.
Jeff.
Yes, Jeff, saying to him that things ain't what they used to be and such
He's
like.
a cattle rustler. He's actually a very interesting bloke.
He's an outlaw in a hood. I'm not surprised the two of you've bonded.
No, I love it. It's my spiritual home. I should
wouldn't
run a
be
pub.
remotely shocked to find you and Jeff in the swimming pool, romping about, weeing, damaging vital safety equipment. That ring is for emergencies only, Jeff. Put it back on the side. That's not a toy. What if there's a drowning? How many more TV presenters have to be involved in drowning incidents before you learn? Not my views.
I thought that would come up.
Well, you know, eventually it did. Shall we listen to record?
Yeah.
Listen record later on. And when we do jingle contest, will we do jingle contest?
Can we do that?
Can't do it because Nick's not bought the stuff. Nick is here. He's been staying with us. As we all know by now, Nick Philps is a vicar's son. He has brought much shame on
Don't say
Christianity.
this to him.
I like saying it to him. He had a tattoo of... If you are...
No, don't say
He had
that.
an inverted crucifix tattooed on his arm the other day, and it said F God on it. That's the truth of the matter. And it's 666. What?
I drew it on his hand.
Yeah, you did. Luckily, I've behaved like the perfect gent the entire time I've been in that mansion.
No, you
I'm
haven't.
a
What about when we
lovely little
arrived and
princess.
you put your bag down and looked at me and Nick and said, why don't you take that to my room? The most threatening, non-threatening way. I just went, no.
You, as I remember, you heaped it up onto your little back and scuttled up those stairs like a ladybird. Let's put the Beatles on.
Yeah.
There are Beatles. Pin pin! You're listening to the Russell Brand Show here on Radio 2 in affiliation with Isle of Wight Radio, where we will be appearing a bit later on... What's that show we're going on, James?
The Alex Dyke Soul Show.
The Alex Dyke Soul Show. We'll be going on that a bit later, where I will be free of the restraints of British broadcasting law. Out here on this island, I can let my true personality come out.
I wouldn't do that.
What?
You've got to go down to a soul voice.
All right, just be a bit more soulful. Oh,
Yeah.
bloody old
That's
soul.
not soulful.
This is, hold on, yeah.
Sound like an old lady at a bus stop.
I don't, dear, I don't. I just appreciate soul. Look, when's this going to turn up, eh? I've been here over an hour now. Oh, dear, I'm not getting any younger. You've seen that vein, have you? What? Why are you looking at me like that for? You were looking at my crotch then.
I wasn't.
You were?
Well, the way you're positioned, you're like at the top of a mountain compared to me. I'm down in a ditch.
That's because I'm... You are down in a ditch,
Why am I
pretty
down
much.
here? There's a big slope up to where you stand.
That's right. That's why I like to be up here in my ivory tower in honour of Sir Edmund Hillary. All my broadcasts this week will be done from top of hill. Wasn't that funny when we got that bloke in Big Brother? When we done Big Brother, this bloke sort of said, Russell, why'd you change your image? Right? And then Matt goes, get him in here and tell him that we changed your image on account of focus groups and dress you up like a dolly and Tim Burton and stuff like that. And we've done it. And goes to him, yeah, no, we got all these focus groups and they said we want to have a famous person that's like a scarecrow all wrapped up in leather and covered in buckles. And he's going, oh wow, is that what it's like? Goes, yeah, that is what it's like. Goes, do you like wearing them clothes? I goes, nah, they're proper uncomfortable. It's really tight all around my balls or my legs. It's restricted. I can't. And he goes,
Believe that.
See what it's like? And we goes, yeah, Stephen Hawking don't need that chair. And he went, oh God, dear, oh dear. Like that. He went with it, didn't he? The whole
No,
he
he
suspected
balked
the
at the
Stephen
chair thing.
He balked. I mean, he balked a bit at the Stephen Hawking chair comment, but the rest of it, he accepted it, didn't he?
It's quite, you know, when you do a joke on someone or you lie at someone and then they take it really nicely and they're really good about it.
You feel a bit guilty for the
Did that
joke.
to my friend once.
What did you do?
I told him I was scared of. We had to go into a car wash, and I went, "Oh no, I'm really scared of car washes." You know, when you just
Why
start
do you
saying,
say things like that to people?
I was young,
What motivates you?
foolish. I was 17, and he, instead of going, "What, you idiot," and he sort of went, "Oh, don't worry, mate.
Oh,
Let's go
God,
through one." And then I thought, "Oh no, I can't tell him I'm lying now."
Yeah,
so I had to
really
go for a
clever.
car wash, pretending it was a
You have to feel
life-changing experience. Yeah.
oh no, the brushes,
Oh,
the
the brushes, the noise, the horror.
It's like being born. It's like being born again.
It's pretty exciting, actually, when you're a kid.
When you're a child, a car wash is about as good as it gets, isn't it, really?
You really have to trust your parents because you think this is not right.
This can't be.
Bail! Bail!
No, don't open the door! I'm opening the door, Dad! I'm opening the door! We've gone too far! We're not going to get away from it again!
And you're sure the car's moving, aren't you?
Yeah, it always feels like the car's moving. Like when you're on an aeroplane and you see another airplane moving, you think, I don't know if that one's moving or if I'm moving. And sometimes when I look down at the ground on an airplane, I can't tell if it's taken off or not. Sometimes I'm not even on an airplane. Sometimes I'm in an hospital bed.
What, you look at the ground when you're on an airplane, not sure it's taken off?
Yeah, I can't tell. I'm thinking, is that just a little line or is that a great big river? That's
What an
what.
idiot.
And sometimes I think with that air hostess, can I cuddle her if I want to? If it's a
You
man.
have done in the past, haven't you?
Yeah, I like them.
I don't like it when you pull air hostesses.
Why?
Because they're there in their air hostess
Yeah,
uniform,
yeah.
and then you pull them, and then they turn up at a hotel just in
Just
normal
in a
clothes.
tracksuit.
And I think,
Disappointment.
oh, there's so
Come in
much
the uniform.
power when they're up in the air. Now look at them on
Just
the ground.
in a tracksuit. Just in a tracksuit in an hotel lobby. Yeah, well, there you go, Matt. That might be quite an insular experience that we're recounting there, and not something generic, such as the joy
You
of
bighead.
our glorious mansion.
Matt, most people can't do that, so don't bore them with it.
There's yarns about how we pick up. Sometimes I get the pilot involved as well, having pushed me around in a trolley. I've never done that. Pinning still grips the nation, I see.
Yes, well, they are fools.
I'm a bit disappointed that there's not much more praise for my brilliant jingle that I did last week.
It didn't work. I did it better than you, and it was there to take the mickey out of me.
OG, original victim. OG.
Matt Morgan,
yeah.
original.
Matt Morgan, original
Can't even
victim.
do it now.
Matt Morgan, original victim. Brilliant. What a great jingle that was by me. And what about our world record breaking attempts as well? Me coming incredibly close to breaking that speech record.
I'd like another go at the banana thing.
Would you, though?
No.
Because you failed dismally, didn't you?
I didn't.
You were a joke.
I ate 4 bananas.
That's nothing. Imagine a monkey, how many it goes through in its lifetime, without any
lifetime,
expectation
not
of praise.
1 hour period.
Well,
Or 5-minute period, in
A
fact.
monkey, Matt, would expect nothing for your trivial achievements, probably right across your life, in fact. The way you've run Matmos this week, if I'd given that job to an orangutan and it had done it to the same
That
low
pub's
standard,
good.
I would offer it up for vivisection.
Celery and Bloody Marys.
Yeah, no,
Everything.
admittedly...
Just because you don't drink. Just because you turn up to Matt Mo's and go, I'm getting this place shut down, guys. Who set off a fire extinguisher? Grow up! If you want me, I'll be down in the lodge, polishing my shotgun. What about your horse riding outfit?
What?
Your horse riding outfit.
I looked great horse riding today, didn't I?
Why were you scared of people taking photos of you with a helmet on?
Sharon said, don't let people take a picture of you in that helmet. You look like an idiot. God, I looked a bit of an idiot in that helmet.
She's not like controlling the image of McDonald's.
If people see you in that helmet, our franchise is ruined. There's absolutely no way that anyone's going to buy my bookie book or your DVD after that. Yeah, fair enough. Listen to this from a person. Rachel, this person claims to be called. My 3-year-old son has an interesting insight. On seeing the cover of your bookie book, he said, that lady has a beard. Well,
I've been accused of that before.
what, being a lady with a beard?
Bounty ads. Do you
Oh,
remember
yes,
that
of course.
whole
People used
period of pain?
Yeah, that was a lovely era, that, when people said that you looked exactly like the women dressed as men in the Bounty.
It was uncanny,
Toilet
actually.
roll. Yeah, ridiculous. Monkey prostitutes. I'm just going through these emails, Matt, while we're doing the radio show. And the headings, well, they're quite preposterous. Look at this one. Monkey prostitutes. Did you know that some type of monkeys pay for sex? And, like, you know, the email goes on. But if someone starts an email with, do you know that some monkeys pay for sex? What was your motivation to continue?
I think it's a pitch from a company that run that service. I thought, if there's one man in the country, he'd definitely go for it.
Monkey sex now, eh? Well, that's something.
How
I know.
much is it?
These monkeys, what are they like? I mean, they're ambitious sexually.
What does that mean? A monkey can get sex off another monkey by giving
Giving
it
it a
fruit?
banana, grooming it or something. It'll be like that. They won't go, here's 50 quid. Now, come on, do the right thing. Will they? It's not going to be proper prostitution as we know it.
That
and
might go on
condemn
at
it.
Monkey World. Maybe there's a sort of
Oi.
dark behind the scenes
There's
thing.
there's nothing going on at Monkey World.
Sponsor a monkey. Yeah, right. Pimp it.
Oh, I've been sponsoring a monkey all morning. Now I've got sick in my beard. Monkey World is a damn fine place, and I can only urge people to get right behind it. Now look at this. Animal con artists. Caterpillars con ants with smell. I mean, shall we read
That's
on?
just the words that they're using.
Yeah, right. It's just something that happens in nature. That's
Yeah.
like saying bees nick pollen,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Or
and they do, in
flowers,
a way.
you
Or for
know.
flowers, yeah.
Tart themselves out to bees.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Okay, fair enough. Let's not continue. Egg thief. I just thought I'd let you know, says Sam Robinson, about this thing I read. The story's about a man who's decided to steal bird eggs This worried me. What? Sorry, but what's it with this? I've been thinking about Matthew again because I never fully feel that we explored it to its correct depth. Is that when you went to that farm as a 5-year-old boy and
we have explored that.
Really? Because I just would like more people to be aware of it, because I feel like it's about spreading awareness, something like this. And there were little chicks in an incubator, just being incubated, and to the side of it, the people
Not incubate, that makes them sound like they're premature or something. They
It's-
run around under a red light.
Don't try to make it sound like they're on an electric beach. An incubator is the correct word. They were being incubated, those baby birds. Little baby cute chicks.
Chicks.
Loved the world over. Beloved by us. Busby, little fluffy Easter chicks.
Busby?
Yeah, he was a thing when we were
He
little.
was a grown chicken.
He was not a grown chicken, Matthew. He was yellow and fluffy and delightful. Look at your attitude already beginning to emerge. Now, these chicks that were in that incubator, they look all happy and joyful, although, and to the side, chicks that had died had been put out, right, and they'd been removed, obviously.
They've been trampled flat by the other chicks.
Right, and Matt saw those dead, trampled chicks to the side. He couldn't bear it that the chicks under the incubation lamp looked so happy and joyous. He thought, they look all happy. Yet just to their right are those little dead chicks. So he would pick up the dead chicks to the side.
I would take a live chick and I would take it to the dead chick and show it to them. And they'd become agitated when they realised the grim reality of existence. Then I'd put him back into the thing.
To make it a sort of little chick Jesus.
Yeah.
So go back with its message.
Listen, guys, stop running around.
There's a terrible other world out there. Yeah.
I was very young.
That was awful that you did that.
I know, you're always going on about it.
No, it's something.
Drag it up, don't you, when you feel guilty about your own actions.
Sometimes I think about it. Right, okay.
What was that egg thief thing that you discarded?
Well, I don't know. It's because I just got swept up in the moment, and I just sort of I couldn't, it was attached to a newspaper story. It looked like it was something that could go on for hours and hours. It just, it looked troubling to me. A lot of these things are news stories that people send to us, Matt, because they see us very much as a channel for odd information.
Right.
Which I suppose in many respects we are. Hey, we've won loads of awards. What are our podcast awards that we've won?
iTunes Podcast of the Year.
iTunes Podcast of the Year. What other award?
.net.
.net, the prestigious .net
It
is quite
podcast of the year.
prestigious.
Is it? 2 prestigious awards. People
Don't
don't know about
undermine our own
I'm not
awards.
undermining them. I'm grateful for all our rewards. Any one of the ones we've got are good. Plus, Shagger of the Year,
Again.
And now that I know that there's awards for monkey sex out there, these monkey prostitutes are going to be raking it in.
Yeah.
More bananas than you could ever scoff, Matthew. Should we stick a record on, re-coordinate ourselves? Is there any news or anything we should be worrying about?
No.
Go on then, stick a record
The
on.
Ramones, Surfing Bird.
Stick it on. Surfing Bird, surfing over its dead brethren so that you make it aware of mortality. Go on then. That's the Ramones, Surfer Bird. You're listening to Russell Brand on BBC Radio 2. We have been joined by David Icke, perhaps the most famous resident of this island. Hello, David.
Hello, mate.
Is that the right way around, that microphone? Is it all fake? You should know, bloody David Icke, always on the radio. Is that right, Nick, that microphone? Is everything okay, dear?
It's a bit skew-if.
Oh, I don't know, these boys. I'll tell you why it is. It's because his dad's a vicar, conventional religion. You and some of your views, do you see? It's an attack on convention and the orthodoxy. So,
There's more people in the Leicester City home game.
very much, as we're quite, what it is we're deeply insecure people. We need to be surrounded by acolytes, lovers in some cases. Some of these people we barely even know, David. Thanks for coming in. Now, there's loads of things we want to talk to you about. These are the problems, though. We are stupid on this radio show, but in a sort of a deliberately ridiculous way, sort of like the wise fool. That's very much the model that we pursue. So, don't be too serious. And also, you remember last week when you said George Bush Senior was a paedophile? We all got a little bit told off.
Yeah.
Of course we got told off. Well, in a minute, I'm going on a guest on, what's it? That's
The Alex Dyke Soul Show.
the Alex Dyke Soul Show.
Alex Dyke, yeah.
Do you know Alex Dyke?
Oh, I know Alex, yeah.
Once we go in there, now that's when we can really kick off with some of our maverick George Bush is a nonce style views. But
I said it because it's true. That's what I
yeah,
said.
fair enough. That's David Icke's views. He's entitled to them views. Go on, say some. But this is what worries me, David Icke, is that if, like all that stuff you say about like the, sort of media manipulating us, keeping us all spellbound and daft so that we can manage, I'm well into it and believe it. But then when you attach that to George Bush's on the nonce, that's more easy to dispute, so it makes the stuff that is more palatable also seem questionable.
But it's not easy to dispute. It's easy to dismiss because it seems so far out. It's not easy to dispute when you do the research.
But it doesn't even help, right? This is the thing, David Icke. Let's say we all go, George Bush is a nonce, right? That don't help the revolution, because that's why we want you here. We do actually want to overthrow the government, right? But we need some proper policies, and we need a sort of a structure in place to cope with all the admin. Now, whether or not George Bush is a paedophile, and I hope he's not, because paedophiles, come on, pack it in. That's one of our main messages on this show, right? It doesn't make any difference hierarchically, does it, or politically?
I'll tell you what it makes a difference to. It makes a difference to the kids they abuse. If they're exposed and it stops, and that's what I'm interested in.
Yeah, I'm interested in it as well. Dirty devil, George Bush. Right, we've got a couple of campaigns on this show. Here's one of them. China, get out to Tibet. George Bush, stop noncing kids. That's not necessarily the views of this show. But if you are, pack it right in. I'm just looking around the faces of me. My manager's face, he looks relatively comfortable. Producer of the radio show, concerned. A look of concern on the face. So that's not the views of me or the BBC, that's David Icke's views. So yeah, what kind of political system, that could take we want to overthrow the government in a jaunty way. What sort of things should we be looking to do, and what information should we be kicking out there?
Well, if you want to overthrow a government, stop cooperating with it. If you want to stop living in a gathering Orwellian prison, then stop cooperating with it.
How can we do that in sort of simple, accessible ways that we can put into place immediately?
It means...
Not put the rubbish out. Right, no rubbish is going out now, and I'm not helping with the recycling, and I'm not paying tax. Those sort of things.
If a politician, a Bush or a Blair, comes out and says, we've had a discussion, and we decided to do this... we're mostly going to be noncing kids. That's our new policy. Their power is in the population saying, "Oh, we don't like it, but we better do it."
Apathy.
It's the herd mentality. For instance, it's a simple thing. Years ago, back in the 80s, when Margaret Thatcher came out with that appalling poll tax, because it affected low-income people and the so-called middle classes. There wasn't this, it's the middle classes, that doesn't matter, it's the working class, it doesn't matter. There was a united response to it, and vast numbers of people refused to pay the bloody thing. As a result, what happened? It collapsed. And I'm a great believer in the Gandhian way of non-violent, absolutely non-violent, non-cooperation. If you don't cooperate with the building of your own prison, there's not enough of these people to build it. We allow them to do it, and we do it to ourselves. So just don't be cooperative. But I don't know what that would tangibly mean in a palpable, what should I do when I get in after the show type way. Because mostly I'll be then trying to stop Matt Morgan letting off fire extinguishers.
That's why I'm going against the system. Jump on the swimming pool cover, break it, set off a fire extinguisher, run a pub in your own house.
Run a crazy bonkers little bar. Okay, Matt, maybe all along.
Sleep at day and live by night.
Live at night. That's the last thing the government's going to want from us.
You think you're a revolutionary? You just patrol around telling people to stop having fun.
Now, come on. This revolution's become dangerous. You'll have someone's eye out with that. Yeah, no, fair enough. Okay, well. Also, though, David Icke, you've brought in a CD of is this your eldest son? Gareth Icke. We'll stick on one of his records, shall we? He good, is he, your lad?
Tel Aviv is his band as well is Helen Keller.
This is the other thing that's difficult.
Tel Aviv.
If you're in constant pursuit of revolution and sort of overthrowing the status quo system, don't it this is what that film The Queen, starring Helen Mirren.
I didn't see that. I couldn't stomach it, to be honest.
Right. Okay. Because it would be sentiment because that's that reptilian aspect of your belief system.
Well, any society that's got a person at the top purely by their genetics and people back out the room is a society that's not.
It's crackers, isn't it? I don't think I would like to. If I met the Queen, I wouldn't want to.
You have met the Queen. About 2 weeks ago. He loved her. He kept going, I love the Queen.
I did like her.
He was photographed next to her.
She's not a lizard. I liked her. She was all right, I thought.
Well, maybe you're one as well.
Hold up. Maybe I'm not Emma, David.
I haven't got a clue.
Can you tell?
I care even less.
Oh, hold on. No, now look here. How do you tell? It's only if there's some actual shape-shifting happens in your presence and company.
No, I mean, I've met people all over the world who've had that experience of seeing someone shift into another form. And when you look at the ancient accounts all over the world, in virtually every culture, they're saying the same.
Don't you think these things are metaphorical? Because sometimes, for example, in the act of lovemaking, I shamanistically transform into a reptilian... Shut up, Morgan. a reptilian thing, right, all sexual. Like a lovely, sexy lizard.
I can't believe that of you, mate.
No, honestly, David, you want to see me go? Not a scaly, horrible lizard, but imagine that, a dark-eyed, eh? Like a sort of a glorious, like, lizard man thing, you know. But I wouldn't actually become a filthy, dirty lizard eating baby chicks and dead mice and the likes. So, do you not think that some of these things are metaphorical, not physical, actual realities?
Not metaphorical. You see, the thing is that we don't even know the nature of reality. We don't even know the world that we live in. I mean, we're told that the world is solid, and scientists will tell you that this solid...
That was David Icke tapping on a desk there. With his willy, admittedly.
This solid room is made of atoms, and the same scientists will tell you atoms have no substance, no physical nature, and yet they make up this physical world. How is that? It's because the world is not actually physical. It's an illusory construct that happens in our heads, like a television decoding a frequency field into television pictures. We do it into a holographic, apparently three-dimensional world. And the Matrix movies were very, very close in the way they portrayed it to the reality we live in. Now, once you get away from this is solid and immovable... but
in a practical way they are solid, though.
But then everything becomes possible. Shape-shifting is no longer... the movement from one dense physical form to another dense physical form. It's an energetic shift. It's a shift in the way that we decode what we're looking at. Okay, fair enough. I see that it's plausible ideologically, but practically, it's too difficult to pass through walls and stuff like that. But radio frequencies pass through walls for a simple reason. They're on a different frequency to the wall. Okay. And when we look through our eyes, we think we're looking and seeing everything in the space that we're looking at. What we're looking at is a tiny frequency range that our five senses can access. It's like a television station. And there are infinite television stations sharing the same space, just like there are in this room now. And when we're in this physical body, it tunes us into one. And we wake up and we think, hey, this is everything. Actually, it's just one television station sharing the same space. And that's what, of course, scientists call parallel universes. I do agree with that. I agree with some of that stuff. Now, this is this is the other thing that's a bit worrying with me, right? Is I get sort of quite into sort of quite big political ideas, revolution, but then say something happens in my actual own life. Like earlier, I've chipped my tooth. Only a little tiny bit. Right, and I'm thinking about that much, much more than the revolution. I'm sort of thinking, oh no, I've chipped my tooth a little bit. I keep going up to people, showing them my tooth to see, can you see where it is? Can you see? Like, can you, David? You've got a lot of them, mate. Which one is it?
The front, well, if you can't see it, it's not that bad, is it?
No, it can't be.
Are you putting on your spectacles?
I need reading glasses, so you might have a problem.
I like you, David Icke. You're a nice man and a beautiful soul and a very intelligent person. There's no doubt about it. Now, is there some news is coming on now?
Yes.
Hold on, but right. So this news.
Tell the people what they want them to hear, eh? Let's have the news.
Right, hold on. So let's say, I'll tell you what. Right now, this news is lies. It's rhubarb and hogwash.
Let David throw to the news then.
Yeah, all right, David. You can do your own throw as long as you say when is it? Have we got to go to it yet? About another 1 minute of other stuff. Right, you think... So even though you don't think that the BBC is directly cooperating with a conspiracy to make people all dumb and spellbound, you think that this news that we're about to hear is part of the problem because it's sort of... you call them repeaters, right? Repeating information to keep the populace sort of spellbound and docile.
If you look at what happens on most news bulletins, it's people in dark suits repeating what people in authority have told them is happening.
Yeah.
And real journalists say, well, hold on, let's check if that's true.
Yeah.
Repeater journalists just read it out.
So John Ronson's quite a good journalist, and like he was a bit worried. Like John Ronson, I would say we've met John. He's come on this show like before. He's quite a good sort of journalist, isn't he?
I've seen a lot of his stuff. I suppose he's okay.
Yeah, no, I think he's investigative and thorough and stuff like that. But I think that that's the thing we return to. I get entrenched in it myself because loads of stuff you say, I think, yeah, that's brilliant. Oh, that's true. Right, okay, revolution. The Queen's a lizard. Oh no, I like her, Majesty. Because when I met her, I thought she's just a little old lady. Whether she's a lizard or not, I couldn't give her monkeys in a way. I thought, well, transform into a lizard now, Mum. I'll transform into my lizard. We'll coil ourselves up do some lizard eggs together, the pair of us, all nice, you know.
I'm sure you could manage that.
I reckon I could. Now, that's killed that minute. So let's... right. Let's do... Can you, David... All right, as long as you say that bit, you're a professional broadcaster.
I used to be.
Take it off.
Matt was talking about my bikini then. And it has come off.
Didn't realise my mic was up.
I hope you like me.
bikini on it.
Will you throw to it? But also, you can add anything you want to that, like all your views about...
Am I handing to the news now?
Yeah,
Yes.
we're going straight to the news, but you can say whatever you like about what you believe the news on the BBC to be, not our views, David Icke's views.
Okay, this is BBC Radio 2, online, on digital, and on 88 to 91 FM. We're now going across to the new studio where someone is going to tell us what those in authority want us to believe.
That was Johnny Cash. Before that, it was the news. I must say what a lot of cobblers it was this week. Oh, I don't know, because I didn't listen to it. There might be something sad on it. So maybe, if something sad happened, I'm sorry about all that. You listen to Russell Brand on BBC Radio 2. David Icke is in the studio. We've moved him away from the microphone. Casey says something. You never know with David. He could go off any moment. Later on the show, we're going to be giving Noel Gallagher a bell. And plus, I'm appearing on Isle of Wight Radio. And I'm Matt.
Yes. On the what was it? We can never remember it. Alex
I'm
Dyke's
really not
Soul
absorbing Alex
Show.
Dyke's Soul Show, that bit of information. Alex Dyke's Soul Show. Because there's a lot of aggressive, fricative consonants in his name. Alex Dyke's Soul Show. Alex Dyke's Soul Show. If you want some soul with Alex Dyke, get on your bike and listen to the soul on Alex Dyke's Soul Show. Really aggressive name, isn't it? He should be called Bob Mellowyeller or something like that. Shouldn't he? Soul Show. Alex Dyke. And so, yeah, I'll be going on his Soul Show and behaving in what can only be described as an irresponsible fashion. As a matter of fact, I might go there only in my little panty poo pots. What do you think about that, James from Isle of Wight Radio?
I think you'll like that.
You're a professional, see? Immediately, he knows he's on radio, young James from Isle of Wight Radio, pipes up all nice and loud. Listen to how our producer, Nick, responds to a question, who works for this apparently superior BBC Radio 2. Are you a bit guilty that you're a vicar's son? Can't even hear his response, because I tell you why, he's too busy worrying about the insomnia that he deservedly has.
Nick.
He can't sleep because he's betrayed Christ. So, I think David Mitchell is on the line. Imagine that, David Mitchell from Peep Show on the line. Are you there, David? David Mitchell from Peep Show on the line? David Mitchell? David Mitchell is either not there or is so angry with the content of this show that he's simply refusing to address me, which I can't imagine of David Mitchell because he's a very well-mannered gentleman. Right, OK, well, I think we all recognise that sound. Any regular listeners to the Russell Brand show will know that's the dial tone. We've heard it after Zippy was
Maybe
insulted.
Mitchell is a vicar's son as well.
Oh, no, he's the sort of person that would be a vicar's son, isn't he? And Tim Westwood, vicar's son. There's a common thread running through all these vicar's sons, and it's, to my mind...
What? What's Tim Westwood got to do with David Mitchell?
Vicar's son.
Ah.
Do you see now how it all links perfectly together? So, are we calling David Mitchell back? He's there now. David? Look. That isn't like James from Isle of Wight Radio, who moments ago I've praised for your professional expertise. You've shown yourself to be something of a buffoon, something of an island-dwelling twit, without simplest understanding of technology. There it is again, the dial tone. Who else hung up on us? Dickie Dawkins, he hung up on us.
The man who
didn't
did the
he?
voice for Zippy.
Richard Dawkins, Zippy from Rainbow, he hung up on us. Well, Richard Dawkins just got I'm not waiting for this rubbish.
Radio show is a joke.
These people don't know what they're doing. He's like, as Matt pointed out, Professor, let's not have that noise on. That's mental. We're a professional radio show. Just playing that out for ages. Look, at a minute we're going on Alex Dyke's Knife Attack Soul Show. And I bet it's much more professionally run.
You won't
than
come
this
back, will you?
shambles.
I'll
Of
be
course I
stuck
won't.
here.
I'm going to be
With
over
the
there.
Shah.
Me and old Dykey will form a new double act, I imagine. No, I would never leave you, darling.
Would you take Icon Dyke?
Oh, God. Ike on Dyke. That sounds like a really dirty video, doesn't it? Ike on Dyke.
He does when I'm open to it.
He's up for it.
He's up for it.
Old Ikey, he'll
Take him
do
in.
it. And Ike Turner died recently. So we'd go, poor old Ike on Dyke, and then, see if we can find any other things without saying anything offensive that rhymes with that. Look, I think leave David Mitchell for a bit, you flapping lunatics. He's all blushing, the lad from the island, James.
I blame the kit.
Who do you blame?
The kit.
The kit, you're blaming the kit here on the Isle of Wight. Well, actually, I think it's all been wonderfully well handled. Matthew, what did I want to talk to you about? Rural pursuits, condemn you for something. Horse riding. Yeah, horse riding. Why didn't you come on the horse riding that we went on earlier today with those lovely girls?
I was a bit hungover. Also, they were only little horses, weren't they?
They
weren't real
little.
real horses.
They were quite... I think I looked quite noble bestride my steed.
You didn't really. It looked kind of silly.
What, really?
Your feet were on the floor.
My little dragging tootsies. Come on, Quicksilver, take me to freedom.
I thought you were meant to be good at horse riding because you did it for a film.
Yeah, well, the thing is when I was
Special
learning...
effects?
It was not, it was actual effects, and I was doing that horse riding, but I didn't enjoy learning to ride the horse, as you well know, because I saw it as an obligation. And you
don't like cruelty to animals.
No.
Sat up there.
On it all the time.
Kick them quite hard, though, don't you?
Sometimes if the horse doesn't listen, it's best to poke it in the eye, I find.
You're only meant to kick it when you're on it.
Sometimes I just walk up to it in the stable and kick it straight in its fat arse. Make sure you know who's in charge. You're simply a horse. And whereas we've been watching a lot of Bagpuss, haven't we?
Yes.
And not in an ironic way, but rather as if it's a beautiful poem. I love Bagpuss.
I've always loved it.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? And I think it's Professor Yaffle that we most like, and it's because since you said that Richard Dawkins has the attitude of Professor Yaffle from Bagpuss, condemning things cynically, saying religions are nothing but an old shoe or a dirty bottle, much as Yaffle does to any object that's brought into the Emily's shop in Bagpuss. But having watched a lot of Bagpuss this week, here's a few questions that I'd like answered by Oliver Postgate, the maker of Bagpuss. 1. Why has Emily, a 9-year-old girl, got her own shop? 2.
No, in fact, on the sign it says Bagpuss and Co. So Bagpuss, he's at least on the lease.
Who are... His name's on the lease, his name's above the door. Who are the mysterious Co? The shadowy figures behind Bagpuss? Another conspiracy, David Icke, I fancy. The Illuminati are running Bagpuss's shop, and that's why there's all these odd goings-on. Another question, why are them mice not allowed a Why is it even called Bagpuss? Because he don't do much in the programme. He's like an idiot, isn't he?
He is an idiot.
Whereas Yaffle and the mice very much run the show, representing optimism and cynicism.
But everything takes place in Bagpuss's mind.
Do you think that in an episode of Bagpuss, the whole thing's a fantasy? David Icke was so shocked by that, he literally nearly fell off his chair. Oh, come on, if we can't trust Bagpuss, what can we trust?
No, it does, because when Bagpuss wakes up...
all his friends wake up.
All the things wake up.
And when Bagpuss goes to sleep, all his friends go to sleep.
Because they live in his mind.
Is that what that's saying?
Well, the mice are just carvings on an organ, aren't they?
Yeah.
Professor Yaffle's a bookend.
Yeah, I love them. Well, I'd like to talk to Oliver Postgate, the maker of Bagpuss.
Is he still...
alive? Yeah, he does the voices. Don't think nothing but an old shoe.
Yes, you've got to get him. Not just for the voices, but for the whole philosophy. It's 13 episodes.
Yeah, and
that's all there is.
It seems as well that the motivation behind Bagpuss is let's make a beautiful work of art rather than let's just fill up some TV. Isn't it?
Bright colours for kids.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It really is.
It's a lovely thing. All right, shall I go on that other radio show over there?
Yeah, but, the technical side of things here isn't great, so
Isn't it?
may never see you again.
Oh, God. That's it, I could go through the looking glass now. Also, Nick Phillips, radio producer, try and get Noel Gallagher on the blower. Oh, yeah, we find it hard to make phone calls, don't we, it seems?
We'll do it from London.
We're going to... All right, David, you're going to punch David Mitchell through to London. David Mitchell from Peep Show will be coming on the show a little bit later,
London.
perhaps. And then But now, I want to go over there with Dikey.
Is that going to work?
Yeah, of course it'll work, right? So we'll stick on a record, and then when we come back from the record, I'll be on Isle of Wight Radio, the Alex Dyke Soul Show, won't I?
If I was in the Isle of Wight, I'd switch over to Isle of Wight Radio from Radio 2.
And then go
listen
back
to it.
again?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be mad,
It'd be
wouldn't it?
mind-blowing.
He's going to knock people's socks off. But then I'll just do one link over there, because they probably play loads of music, unlike on our show, where music interrupts senseless babbling when it's allowed to. Matt, should we put on a record? What do you want to put on, mate? Let's play something about Ike's son, David Icke's lad. Come on.
Chuck it over here then.
And then we'll say then...
It's on this one.
What, this one?
Helen Keller.
Helen Keller, she was to do with the Profumo affair. You're part of the conspiracy yourself,
No,
David
she
Icke.
wasn't. She was deaf, dumb and blind.
Who was?
Helen Keller.
Was she? I'm thinking of Christine Keeler. Nonetheless, they're all filthy bunch, the whole lot of them. Deaf, dumb and blind, I wonder why. You know, probably from Carrying On, How's Your Father? Right, you're sticking that on. What track do you want to listen to?
It's on the what do you call it?
Which...
We're just choosing a track from David Icke's Lads band to play now. Tel Aviv. That's the track, is it, we're going to play, or is that the band? Tel Aviv.
Song.
Right, here we go. This is David Icke's Lad. Helen Keller's the name of the band. What's it called?
She was a blind activist.
Blind activist.
Fantastic things.
I would not trust a blind activist. You must be cautious there. If you've got an activist, you want them to have a bloody good look round before they do any activating. Right, you ready, Matthew?
Yes, here we go.
Right, and I'm going to F off over there, Isle of Wight Radio, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, right, I'll go over there, then next link's from there. Will you be able to... I won't be able to hear you or anything, will I, Matt?
No, you've just got to go with them. Be a
Be
guest
on a radio show. Now,
But
what could be
just
simpler?
Bear us in mind.
I'll be totally bearing you in mind.
Pin him.
I will pin that man so hard. I'm going to pin him down his peel. He'll be the pinning of a generation.
You need to know a soul song because you've got to.
What shall I select?
Otis Redding.
Otis Redding. What one?
Hard to handle.
Hard to handle. Hard to handle. Alex Dyke. What should we listen to now?
We're going to listen to
Oh, David Icke's Lad. In his band,
Tel
Helen
Aviv
Keller.
by Helen
Tel
Keller.
Aviv.
Here it is.
Here it is.
Great
Good
thing.
link, Matthew. You'll be fine.
Oh, you're not going to believe this. You are not going to believe... Are we on air?
I don't think so.
Someone just tell me if we're on...
Are you
Hello.
getting the output? Are you getting this?
All right.
Oh.
Getting this. Are the bits
Hello, I'm Russell Brand. We're in a mystery location with Alex Dyke. Alex, do some output. This is your show.
Oh, my God, you're not going to believe this. Russell Brand has just joined me on the Alex Dyke Soul Show. Big star in the studio. And just as we were going to go on air, someone flicked a switch and it all went... which is a bit like my career.
I think your career's going to go from strength to strength, Alex, because, to tell you the truth, I've been watching you through the window from where I've been doing my show. I've never seen broadcasting like it, and I've seen some of the best. I've seen Wogan, he broadcasts with his top off. I've seen Chris Evans, he does a lot of things with his trousers down. The pair of them, they're like a yin and yang, Wogan and Evans, the pair of them. So is everything's working now on your radio show?
We're on air, are we? So the Alex Dyke Soul Show's on air. Of course, the BBC never goes off the air, does it?
Of course it doesn't. That's part of our duty. Now, I'm just a guest on your show, innit? So I've not got no real obligations. So I'd like to use this as a platform to express some of my new views about the family of George Bush, President of the United States.
Listen.
My mate David Icke!
No.
My mate Icke told me something!
No, listen, I've had David Icke on my show before.
He's good, isn't he?
He's good, but he's dangerous, and with all your lawyers, that's okay for you. But me, I'm just a small guy, you know,
I'll just
small
say
town
this,
DJ.
don't let George Bush Senior babysit under any circumstances.
No.
Even if he comes round and goes, I will babysit at a very low price. I'll do babysitting 50 pence an hour. Just go, no, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth the aggro, Alex.
I like David Icke, but he scares me because
I
with
like
all
him.
the
He's
stuff
over
he
there. I
says.
can see him. He's still in our studio. Hold on a minute. There's just a big 12-foot lizard. He's transformed. The whole thing was a coup. We trusted you, Ike. We trusted you.
Do you like soul music?
There's nothing I like more, Alex Dyke, than a bit of soul of an evening. I settle down, I listen to a bit of Otis Redding, then I just fall asleep again. I like soul music, of course I do. Motown, that'd fall under the general banner of soul.
What
I like it.
What CDs? What soul CD? Have you got any soul CDs in your
I don't
car?
have CDs anymore, Grandad. This is the age of the download. We're the #1 podcast in the country. I don't own a CD. If I saw a CD, I'd smash it up as being an antiquated object from the past.
What's this?
That looks to me like a penny farthing, is it? a black licorice disc, Alex? What's it? Is this the sort of thing that is so old-fashioned that it would make George Bush Senior be sick? You'd just think, oh, what an aged, horrible thing. Whereas a young thing, like a download, blimey, that'd get him going.
Look. This is my phone, right? Look at my phone.
Oh, you've got an iPhone.
I've got an iPhone.
Other phones are available.
And on my iPhone, I've got downloads. I've got an iPod. I've got soul music on there.
Mind you, you are up to date, aren't you? Why have you got that gas attendant shirt on? You've got
It's his day job.
Look, read that.
Elvis. I love Elvis Presley.
This is an Elvis workshop, and he used to work for Crown Electric.
Okay.
He used to drive trucks.
Stick to driving a truck, because he was famously told in Memphis.
Yeah,
wasn't
but
he?
this isn't his original one.
Of course not. You couldn't afford Elvis's actual shirt.
Well,
Elvis
what's his
could
name?
only just afford it, and he was a millionaire from all his records, wasn't he?
Yeah, but didn't Frank Spencer, not Frank Spencer, Frank
Not
Skinner.
Frank Spencer. Frank Spencer was a bungling idiot.
Yeah.
If he'd been driving a truck, he'd have careered
No,
off the
but
side of the road. Oh, it'd have been awful.
Didn't Frank
Beatty,
Skinner...
you ain't nothing but a hound dog. That's what Frank Spencer would say, Alex.
Didn't Frank Skinner buy Elvis's shirt, spend about 12 grand on a shirt, and then find out it didn't belong to the king of rock and roll? It used to belong to Jason King or someone else.
He found out that actually what he bought was just a handful of magic beans, but he planted them in his garden and grew a great big mighty beanstalk. Up the top of there was a lovely giant. All this output's going out on my Radio 2 show, you know, Alex.
Yeah, I've never had such a big audience, Russell.
Nice, isn't it? All our Radio 2 people are listening now because I've come over here, I've scarpered over here in a mystery location because we can't tell people on your radio show where we are, can we?
No, because if we do, then people will come to the studio and probably
I'll
shoot me.
not tell anyone. White, you can't admit to that. I'll never admit where David Icke lives. Why can't you tell people where you are?
Because it's a mystery. If I told people, you know what happened to that Radio 1 DJ Tim Westwood? Someone shot him.
Tim Westwood is a big friend of mine. Tim Westwood, this is going out for you. Whee! I like being a guest. Here, look at my boobs. Now, take a good look at them, Dikey, because it's the last you'll see of these babies.
Why would I want to look at your boobs, Russell?
Oh, he's sucking that. While he's saying it, he's got his teeth clamped to my nipple. Take your finger out of there. Look, you are worse than the entire Bush family put together.
I've got my 16-year-old daughter here. Do you mind?
Very naive of you to bring her. Very naive.
Now, listen, I was talking to a lady today, and I realised something about Russell Brand after talking to a few people this week about you, because I heard a rumour you'd be coming in. And my daughter here, who's 16, the lovely Dolly. Say hello, Dolly.
Hi.
Now,
Hello, Dolly.
she's a big fan of yours, and so are all the gang at her school. But
I've heard about gangs at schools. Stamp down on it!
But they all like you, don't they? The people that came to my house today, they were a little bit older than me, in their early 40s. They love you, the mums love you, everybody loves you.
I think it's because I emanate light of goodness from within me, and I want a revolution. I want peace and love to be everywhere. This is my motivating force, that and my huge, giant, stinking ego.
But you're rude, but they still love you.
But these are primal urges. We're all after a bit of how's your father, aren't we, deep down, really? It's not an expression of anything other than pure things given to us by the universe, the old sex, the old ooh, ah! I mean, I won't do a full mime in front of your daughter because you'll lose her forever. You know, in a few years' time when she goes into the... well, because my age bracket, as you know, is people aged between 18 and death. That's my target audience. Anyone before... And even in special cases, we will look at corpses. You know.
For God's
I'm
sake.
mucking about. This is your radio show. Control your guests, Alex Dyke. For God's sake, listen, if the George Bush Senior was here, he'd have put me over his knee for that.
No. Listen, you are not as dangerous as David Icke.
No?
Not yet, but I don't know, you're getting there. I don't want to tempt
be
you.
a filthy lizard man. How about that for a bit of risky radio? You are... I think that you're a Skeletor. Do you remember He-Man?
He-Man?
Perhaps this will remind you. By the power of Grayskull! Listeners, bear in mind that I am revealing my boobs on this mystery location where you can get different coloured sands and put it in a glass.
What am I going to do with him?
Alex Dyke, I've got to go back my radio show now. People listening to me on Radio 2, this is what the revolution will be like. I'll take over all radio stations. It'll be brilliant. I mean, you know, I'm just a guest, but that's why I've been so cheeky and saucy. I'm going to dash back over there to the Radio 2 listeners. Alex, I've enjoyed being on your show enormously. You're a very fine gentleman. You've been complimentary and flattering. And if there weren't certain broadcasting laws, I would kiss you so hard and not on the mouth.
Oh, that made my daughter's night. Thank you very much. Let's hear it for Russell Brand, everybody. I've never had guests. I don't even get people to make me tea.
It's Reading, too hard to handle in honour of David Icke and all of us here, because we are hard to handle.
All right, well, I'll get some on. I've got to do some PP Arnold.
Dirty devil, I've got to do some PP myself.
All right, this is First Cut. Bye-bye, Russell. Do you know, I don't even get anyone up here to make me a cup of tea on a Saturday night. This place is packed.
First Cut is the deepest by PP watching.
Arnold.
PP Arnold. So, yeah, that was good, wasn't it? Yeah, when I naughty on that show.
God.
What, Matthew?
It's worse having you as a guest, isn't it?
Yeah, because there's no restraint.
Poor man.
He was lovely, actually.
Why can't he admit where he is, though?
He can't admit he's on the Isle of Wight for some reason. I think it's because he's a tax exile and a known pervert. I think these are the reasons that make him he's a refugee, isn't he? He's a fugitive. He's on the run for a crime he didn't commit. Like the O-Team a little bit, you know. I've got some pretty big questions about life. Hold on a minute, let me read this first. Russell, why are you going all posh shooting? Is this what a revolutionary would do? Of course it is. You have to shoot people to win the revolution. This is a peaceful Gandhian revolution like old Ike wants, but not the Brandian revolution. We'll be taking pot shots at anyone who'll listen, we will. Pretty good aim, I got and all. So, yeah, I know it does sound a bit posh, but there's no reason why it should be. In fact, you know, anyone can go shooting if they like, especially after the revolution, where bullets will be cheaper. So, dear boys, says, sorry about that, it's probably a stupid thing to say. This is from Rebecca Starrick. Why are the pigeon community singled out to be shot? What about clay squirrels or clay salamanders? Why persecute the pigeons? I believe it's because they're dirty with dusty little wings. Matt, what have you got there?
I've got a piece of paper that says Mitchell is here.
Matthew Morgan is holding in his hands a piece of paper that says Mitchell is here. It can only mean that David Mitchell is on the line. David, are you there?
Hello.
Oh, no.
Can you hear me?
Do any of you even know David Mitchell? I don't think you've met it. Yeah, that's David Mitchell, isn't it? David?
Hello.
David
This is the voice of him. Am I on the radio?
The voice of David Mitchell. Hello, mate. Are you okay?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
That's weird. You're coming out. You're not in the cans. You're in the studio. Thank you very much for coming on the radio show. I'm very well, thank you. Although it was disconcerting because we've thrown to you several times and on each occasion been met with either an eerie silence or a ringtone, which does always feel like an insult on a radio show. We go, now,
Right.
David Mitchell, and it go, like that.
Well, there wasn't a noise I personally making, but I live very near a pylon, so that was probably why.
that can create problems, I suppose.
Yeah,
Initially, I thought,
yeah.
David Mitchell has taken this opportunity to become a phone jacker-style prankster and hurt our feelings. But then I thought about just how unlikely that would be. David, we've been doing sort of like country pursuits here on the Isle of Wight, shooting clay pigeons. I went horse riding.
Right.
Are you the sort of gentleman that indulges in that kind of thing?
I've never fired a proper gun. In fact, I was frightened as a child playing Russian roulette with a cat gun, because you can definitely damage your inner ear doing that.
Yeah, no,
So
that is it.
I fear the bullet. I prefer the sarcastic remark as a form of rebuke to other living organisms.
Much better. Thank you. That's it. You've done it. Sorry, David.
Can you hear me?
I can now, but before, like you,
I can't really hear you now.
Right, now you can't hear me.
No, I can now. Then
Right, I'll talk quite loud. This show is pursued by Whispering Bob Harris, right? And what I had was murmuring David Mitchell for a couple of minutes there. And again, I know it's not your fault.
You couldn't hear me then. So I was talking all that gold and you didn't get any of it.
I did hear quite a lot of the gold. I heard the thing about the cap gun and a fear of bullets, but then I began to frantically panic because it sounded like you were talking through a cloud.
There are millions of people listening to essentially technical difficulties, and unless they're interested in the ins and outs of how radio works technically, that's not good.
This has become a radio workshop.
Yeah.
in a way, David. And I'm glad of your contributions. You've been enormously helpful, for pirate radio and to wannabes all over the nation.
We're showing that it's not as easy as it sounds.
Really
Let
have
alone as easy as
demonstrated.
it looks, because you can't see a thing.
Yeah, because in your mind's eye, literally anything at all could be happening, couldn't it?
Yeah.
They could be imagining, I like to think of that fairy tale quite often where mice assist a cobbler in the dead of night. Do you know of that?
No. Fill me in.
There's a fairy tale. There's a cobbler. He's under a great deal of pressure to get some shoes made. He can't do it. The mice in the shop, feeling empathy for the cobbler, fulfil an order.
No, that's elves, mate, not mice.
They're elves?
Yeah, mice can't make shoes. Mice are terrible. They haven't got opposable bits of paw or anything.
Right.
I mean, as well-meaning though mice are, they can't help in a career crisis, whereas elves...
So you're saying in a career crisis, don't ever turn to a mouse or any rodent?
Only for, sympathy, but,
Right.
Not actual concrete help or shoemaking.
It could give you a pick-me-up. It might go, go on, I'm sure things will work out, but it won't ever help you make, for example, a shoe.
Exactly. They can say, look, we've always believed in you, we know you'll work your way through it, but...
Yeah. But if you go, well, could you back that up, perhaps, by stitching this sole on? That's where the mouse will disintegrate.
Depressing to watch them try.
Yeah, there's nothing more heartbreaking than watching the incompetent struggle on, as the engineers in this studio will testify now.
It's like watching a giraffe try and work out a tax return.
Be horrible. Even though its lovely eyelashes do sexualise the giraffe and its elegant neck, don't they?
I've never seen a giraffe as any more sexualised than the other mammals, but I bow to your greater sensitivity to such things.
Well, David, do you not think that certain animals immediately have a gender that you would apply to them? And I think a giraffe is a good example, or a flamingo. It's very hard to think of a gruff male flamingo yobbing its way round a council estate kicking over bins, no?
Do you think it's the pinkness? Is that what you're saying?
And the slender legs.
But they're not sort of slender legs like a supermodel's legs, are they? They're positively knobbly. They're more like Backstreet Kids knobbly than, than sexy slender.
I suppose so, but so you think that you can envisage a masculine flamingo?
Maybe slightly camp, but masculine.
Right. What about a chimpanzee? I find it very difficult to think of a feminine chimpanzee. Like, so when those PG tips, other T's are available, monkeys were on, and then one of them was being a woman, I didn't really like it, because I thought, that can't be a woman chimp, because it...
I'm with you there. A chimp in a dress looks like a tranny, which is odd, considering chimps shouldn't wear clothes of either gender.
But you don't think either gender?
No, chimps shouldn't. I don't want to see a chimp wearing clothes. They're not comfortable.
What about if it's a lovely little schoolboy with a toffee apple?
No, it's wrong.
Oh.
I don't want to think of a schoolboy with that much hair.
What about then Jimmy Cranky, like him? Is that wrong?
Is that wrong? I don't know if that might be wrong. It was very successful.
It worked, didn't it? So there must have been something appealing about it.
There was something in society that needed that. But
there was a hole. We all craved inwardly Jimmy Cranky to succeed as a character.
Yeah, what we want is a small woman dressed as a schoolboy being sort of cheeky, sitting on her husband's knee.
Yeah,
that's what Britain needed then. It was, trying to work its way out of the yoke of trade unionism. But I don't think it's necessary now. In a way, they stewarded us through that difficult time, didn't they? It was a very difficult time for all of us.
Yeah. Do you think that the Crankies ever allowed their act to bleed into their private life? And I use the verb bleed deliberately. Oh, sorry, I'll take that bit back. That was uncalled for. I apologise.
I think they did, I'm afraid.
Thank you, David.
I think things happened in hotel rooms on tour that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
it's a downbeat note, I know, but there we go.
Well, David, you must have come on our show for a reason. Does it mean that there's something that you must say for professional reasons? Is there something that we should buy?
No, I'm not particularly plugging. No. I was just asked on,
Oh,
might be
thank
nice.
you for coming.
I'm in a programme called Jam in Jerusalem at the moment.
What's Jam in Jerusalem? Where's it on?
It's a sitcom on BBC One. And I'm in it along with lots of people who are much better known than me, like French and Saunders and
I know that. You're with someone with dreadlocks.
People.
Is that where
you're
there?
Good. So, you've gone a bit muffled again now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly well at this stage. There's
good.
much
I must
more
stop talking about the technical ins and outs of the process. It's probably boring listeners.
No, it's not. People like it. It's postmodern, but you've got to let it go now, David, because everyone's settled down. But before, when I was surrounded with frantic activity, now people are just sat round. David Icke looks quite tense, but he could go off at any moment. We've learned to accept that. I'm grateful for every second he don't snatch the microphone and bellow something about Prince Philip being a lizard, to tell you the truth. Oh no, he's coming towards me. Last week he just turned up, bold as brass, David, on our radio show, quite casually announced, as if it were no matter, that George Bush Senior is a paedophile in his view.
Oh, right.
I wonder if you'd like to get dragged into this legal quagmire.
In that opinion, but I'm no expert.
No, I know, it's good. Have you got any other, David Icke is here now. I wonder if you've got any other contentious things you could say now that I can get David Mitchell involved in David Icke. Don't you look at me like that, you lovely man. He's looking at me with his arms folded like a disappointed uncle. When it was you that come on here causing all this bother, now me, David Mitchell, being very professional. We were talking about elves and mice, not calling former presidents nonces, left, right and centre. Yes, say something controversial for us. We do like it. We're just lifting up David Icke's mic. It's called the hot mic. So David Mitchell, David Icke, hello.
Hello, David.
Hello, hi.
all right, mate.
Lovely,
I'm good,
two,
thanks.
David.
Are you going to say something contentious?
Yeah, he is now, David.
Well, something contentious, but of course, backed up by the research and the information. We've got someone running for president in America called Hillary Clinton.
Yes.
And
she's not contentious. That's well documented.
Wanting to be the leader of America. Well, and be a change from Bush. Well, the Clinton family and the Bush family are extremely close. Oh, I can hear myself now. Extremely close. Were long before even Clinton became president in '92. And one of the things they did was run drugs through something called the Mina airstrip in Arkansas as part of the Iran-Contra scandal. And they made a fortune out of this drug running operation, which I detail in my books.
It's good you don't detail it vaguely in your book, otherwise...
I don't do it vaguely, I do it in great detail. Detail.
Right, so okay, they ran... Right, so hold on, just for me to put it into quick capsule form, the Clintons and the Bushes ran drugs during the...
Yeah, because reason it was at the Mena airstrip in Arkansas is at the time Clinton was governor for Arkansas. That's why it was done through there. And the two families did it together. There were others as well, but they were fundamentally involved, bringing drugs out of South America into America through the Mena airstrip.
Got it. Now, Peep Show and Jam and Jerusalem star David Mitchell, let's drag you into that. What are your views, David Mitchell?
My views about the conspiracy between the Bushes and the Clintons to run drugs?
Yes, please.
Well, I'm afraid I can't really comment on it because it's a conspiracy I'm actually in on. So, it'd be unfair of me to talk about my colleagues.
It would be, wouldn't it? And unprofessional.
I had thought so, actually.
David Mitchell, he's got his fingers in a lot of pies.
Yeah.
If you look at the evidence, Peep Show, he's spying on us. That Mitchell and Webb sound, that's the sound of a conspiracy happening. Do you see? The clues are there if we look hard enough for them. David Mitchell, I intuitively, whilst not knowing you particularly well, think of you as a delightful man.
Thank you.
I think because you seem like you live in a lovely life where you're all sort of cuddly. Is that so? Or, as you is now becoming clear, a vicious conspirator?
There's a level of cuddliness, but like a badly made toy, there are sharp edges within.
That's lovely, isn't it? Also, what's that other thing? Oh, yeah, you sort of live a quiet sort of bachelor-y style life, or are you in love with someone?
I live a bachelor-y sort of miserable, lonely existence, yes. But, I have myself to cuddle, and I'm not talking about masturbation.
No, good Lord, no. You mustn't worry about that on this show, because, of course, we've spent most of the last hour saying unspeakable things about our beloved leaders.
Yes. I mean,
David,
once you've got the whole legal machinery of the elder Bush working against you, then the odd reference to masturbation is just going to go unnoticed, isn't it?
It's unlikely that tomorrow morning when I receive my dressing down, they say, you said that George Bush Sr. was a paedophile again after being chastised for it last week, and also David Mitchell made a reference to masturbation. It won't happen, will it? We're right as rain. Everything's going to be okay, I think. All right, then.
The two scandals will probably cancel each other out.
In a way, yeah, those two negatives will become a glorious positive.
Yeah.
David, thank you very much for coming on our radio show, David Mitchell. David,
thank you for having me.
Thank you, you're an absolutely lovely man. We'll
Cheers,
watch
David.
that Jam in Jerusalem. And I watched all them Peep Show DVDs very recently, even though I watched them when they was actually on the telly, and I love them. I love them very dearly. I like that church one where Jez wets himself up on that balcony. I like it when you pull that pheasant's head off. And hold on, I know you were saying that thing about cap guns at the beginning. Have you never been like, because me, I'm vegetarian, staunchly vegetarian, right, sort of woolly type of character, liberal, etc., etc. But like when I was firing this gun yesterday, I did think, bloody hell, the power, the awesome power. And I had to be restrained at one point because I fancied shooting the bloke that was pulling the clays, a fella from the village. Have you ever felt the awesome power of weaponry and thought, well, Christ, my morality's gone out the window? David Mitchell. David, is he gone? Oh, no. David Mitchell. What really breaks my heart is he's probably answering that question somewhere. David Mitchell was a wonderful guest there. He deserved a better goodbye. And there he goes. That was we can only speculate as to how he would have responded to that rather long-winded question. OK, so, Matthew, should we put some music on?
Yeah, let's listen to Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, yeah, what, live from the Isle of Wight? Like we're live from the Isle of Wight?
No.
He's not live from the Isle of Wight.
No, but he once was. That's what's important.
The important thing here is he was once live from the Isle of Wight. So that's enough of a link, isn't it?
Yes.
Right, well, should we do that then?
Can I go and work for Alex Dyke?
Dyke wouldn't have you! He wouldn't have you! You were last 5 minutes over there in Dykey's little nest. Well, let me tell you what happened while I was over there. Someone pressed the wrong button and the whole studio went into darkness. The whole thing collapsed, right? So that's one thing that happened. Another bit, it was just...
Was it you?
Yes, it was.
Don't worry, Dykey, I'm a pro.
Yeah, Dykey,
I'll drive from my own desk.
I know about all these buttons. They're just like jelly beans, really, aren't they? Yeah, I'll touch them all at once. Give us a cuddle. What should we listen to?
Jimi Hendrix, Fire.
Fire!
Russell is out of the studio. More unprofessionalism, technical difficulties. Here he is, doing up his flies.
I just done a little wee. Wait. Oh, that sounds mental. Can you do the levels of my earphones? Hello, you listen to Russell Brand on Radio 2. We're live from the Isle of Wight.
Nicer,
That was
better.
Jimi Hendrix, much later. That's horrible. Make it a little bit quieter. Thank you very much. This is, again, continuing the workshop theme that David Mitchell mentioned. We have got two authoritarian figures that may or may not be reptilians at this stage. It's impossible for me to tell. Gentlemen, can you, a little midway, split the difference, and that's lovely. Gentlemen, could you give me your identities, please?
I'm
Sir.
Roger Mazzilius, Chairman of the Isle of Wight Council.
You dirty devil. And you, sir?
David Langford, High Sheriff.
Roger and David, what are your jobs then? What do you do, Roger?
Well, I'm the
first?
civic head of the Isle of Wight Council.
And you're much more of a shouter than David. David, what do you do?
I keep an eye on law and order on the Isle of Wight.
How's it going?
Reasonably.
What, is there a bit of law breaking going on?
Oh, yeah, a little bit, here and there.
Could I just tell you that over the last 48 hours, I've witnessed that gentleman sat there at that desk, Matt Morgan, set
Hello.
off a fire
Hello.
extinguisher illegally, jumped
Not in public.
jumped off into a swimming pool while it was still covered, and also in town earlier he smashed in a shop window. So,
Well, that's all pretty small stuff, because you just come out of the ladies.
yeah, I have.
Oh.
That's not that bad, is it? It
What were
was-
their names?
One was called Rita, and the other one couldn't speak anymore. So, yes, I have just emerged from some ladies' lavatories. Come on, Matthew. You gentlemen, is there a lot of tension between you? Is there a power struggle at the top of the Isle of Wight hierarchy?
No, we're completely separate components of that hierarchy. We get on very, very well.
You said that as if it was well prepared.
Totally unscripted, as you know.
Sounds like a conspiracy. David Icke will get to the bottom of this. David, can we trust these two gentlemen?
The Freemasons are very, very big on the Isle of Wight.
Uh-oh, Freemasons, Illuminati, whoop, whoop, conspiracy, don't trust... Are you lot Freemasons?
No,
They are. Freemasons, I think they're quite nice. They only do an handshake. That's
if
not
we
gonna-
say yes, then you'll know we mean no.
Yeah, whatever
Right
you
on.
say, we've already decided to not trust you. Now, let's have a look at, not like, you seem like a lovely gentleman, but in a sort of, in the context of our show, we're a bit cheeky. We don't. So, look, here's some things that are going on in the Isle of Wight just lately from your Isle of Wight paper. Either of you two in here? Look,
No.
This week?
Not this week.
Oh, looking... What, David, you are?
I am, yeah.
What have you been up to?
I've been giving swords away.
Giving swords away is an odd way to describe a spree of senseless sword-related stabbings up and down the beach done by Privy Councillor Saucy Dave, as it's known. Why? Where's your sword? Show us then.
You've got the wrong bit.
Well, you can say it's the wrong bit, David, but it was the bit that was touching, I mean, I didn't...
Number 2.
God, show us what number to the second bit. We've got the Weekender there. We've got the this bit of the Isle of Wight thing. Which bit are you in, giving away swords? Tell us what you mean. Who are you giving swords to, David?
Oh, a chap in the Army Cadet Force.
You're giving him swords?
I give him a 1.
What, on what basis?
Because he's a good guy.
Is that how you reward good
Absolutely.
guys?
Give all good guys swords.
Give them a sword.
Yeah.
This initiative could lead to bloodshed.
It could.
On this bonkers little island. Right, so do you want to use this as a platform to promote the Isle of Wight, or would you rather chastise Matt Morgan, the villainous wrecker of swimming pool covers and fire extinguishers?
I think he looks a pretty nice guy.
I'm a nice guy, actually.
Criminal
And this-
damage, was it, this afternoon?
I didn't actually do
Criminal
that. He made that up. And he's a grass.
You've had a lovely time, Russell, haven't you? You're having a lovely time, so we're so thrilled that you've come here.
Thank you, I've had a nice time. You're quite bullying you, haven't you, Roger? Like the way you use your voice to berate me and everything. I like you. You're like a lovely couple of uncles. But like, if you was over for Christmas, I'd feel nervous.
Would you think that you're a lovely sort of nephew of ours then? Because we'd be quite happy with that.
Well, yeah, I'm up for that relationship. You're like, I remember a couple of Howell and Pace characters called the Management, and they were both called Ron. They craned into each other, much like you are. They were based loosely on the craze, and you are like a version of that, but made of fuzzy felt. That's how I feel. Lovely, glorious, fuzzy felt gangsters. I would like to have you as uncles, yeah, but I'd like to know what that would involve. Is there anything you want to say to promote this lovely little island paradise of yours?
It is a paradise. We love it. It's got sun, sea, sand and other things beginning with X that you will appreciate. But most of all, it's such a friendly, happy, beautiful island.
It has been friendly enough.
Low
since
crime
we've been-
rate.
Is it?
At the moment.
Do you...
I'll be going home soon.
Yeah, there's going to be a massive spike in the crime rate figures of this island. When Matt Morgan visits, look at that. Look at all the... But of course, better than having George Bush on the island, you know.
Senior.
Oh, yeah, certainly seen
his poor haunted son.
That poor boy, groping his way through life, never really knowing or understanding. Is it so? Excuse me, there's not any dispute between you two. You get on just fine.
Absolutely.
All right.
He knows his place.
Oh.
Sexual tension.
Lots of sexual tension.
The thing is, Russell, he has got the sword.
Yes, of course, yes. That's going to keep you in
It's
your
a great
place.
leveller.
The sword is very much a leveller. I see that now in your relationship. Well, look, you seem like a lovely couple of fellas, but I can't keep talking to you endlessly. We've got to wrap up our radio show. So why don't we applaud these bold administrators of the Isle of Wight, and then elbow aside, brave administrators of Isle of Wight. Oh, wait, is it time for G now? Is it nearly the end of the show? David, Roger, get out of G's way, for God's sake. We're on air. This is BBC Radio 2. You're listening to the Russell Brand Show. We've got 5 minutes, but before the end of this show, why don't we see how Mr. G will summarise this hour and a half of lunacy. Mr. G, poet laureate of the show.
It's been a crazy one.
It's been odd,
crazy.
isn't it?
Yeah. This poem is called Island Life. They say that no man is an island except within the streams of their mind. From extinguished fires to undistinguished desires, yet it will seem that you'll find. But if we could climb every mountain and take a sip from the fountain of power that devours, we'll have a new king who'll start shouting. We're going down the wrong road. So let's all go down to map modes. It's a quiet little place until the owner's shotgun unloads. Water surrounds us, confuses and confounds us, containing both the tranquility of peace or of a storm that astounds us. Reuniting back to the soul, and reuniting an Ike Dyke patrol, evolving a gallop from a canter to break all forms of control. Sometimes I'm inclined to believe that this show is but a jumbled up dream. Maybe this world will start to make sense when Bagpuss awakes from his sleep.
What a piece of broadcasting that was. Ah, Matthew, we've had a lovely time here on the Isle of Wight, ain't we?
Wonderful, actually.
What about when we've been followed around by the paparazzi? That's been unusual.
Oh, God, yeah. When we were shooting and they wanted to take a photo of you with a gun in your hand.
Yeah, I didn't want to be photographed with a gun in my hand. I thought that's going to come back to haunt me during the revolution. We don't want that out there. So, what about, as well, when
what about that man said, get off my land?
That was lovely. We were getting followed, and this proper lovely farmer turned, like, whose land we were on, doing that shooting of clays, things what have never been alive, shooting them legitimately. He came over and he goes, those paparazzi, they're following us. And he goes, right! And got on his tractor, went over to me, get off my effing land! Properly said it like how someone would,
good,
in a
it?
cliche. It's lovely to
The
see
sort
him
of thing that
going
normally
on.
would have been said to us.
Yeah.
We were backed up by him. in his
We
trailer.
were. That was lovely to know that. And then we had a little ride on the back of his tractor, didn't we?
We were right little suck-ups, weren't we?
We were.
Jolly good. We went a bit posh and did that.
Pin. Had tea and biscuits.
Off we
didn't
go.
Lodge?
No bird.
Oh yeah, we learned all the phrases. Paul, no bird, get off my effing land. Yeah, it was lovely. It was lovely bit of time we've had here on this island.
Yeah.
I can only recommend it for an holiday, but what I will say is if you do come, don't attend with a drunken yob who's very likely to smash up your immediate environment in the small hours. You all right? Is there anything you want to apologise for?
Or don't come with a boring sort of old uncle figure striding around a mansion in his corduroy.
It's been a lovely little holiday in a mansion, isn't it, really? Right, OK, shall we wrap up the show? How much time is there left to go? 2 minutes? Right, get icon. David.
Yes, mate.
Have you enjoyed being our guest?
Oh, it's lovely. What a laugh.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, crazy. Just what we want.
Did you like it when I was in that other bit?
Oh, yeah.
You know earlier when
Brilliant.
you round our house and you said that the establishment don't like mavericks, right? Because mavericks can cause revolutions. I thought you might have meant me. Did you mean me? Because I'm such a maverick.
You are a classic maverick, and I've got a simple philosophy which would change the world, which is do what you like so long as you don't impose it on anyone else. That's freedom.
That's nice. Do what you like as long as you don't do what thou wilt. That's what old Alistair Crowley said a bit and all, isn't it?
Not really. Not really. Not really.
No?
He wasn't coming from where I'm coming from. Do what you like so long as you don't impose it on anyone else. In other words, let everyone be themselves so long as they don't make other people be the same if they don't want to. Freedom.
So quite a nice philosophy from David Icke. I liked it, but it's a bit more fun when you stray into the dangerous waters.
Anytime you want. I've got lots of dangerous areas.
I know you have. I touched your bottom earlier. My hand nearly exploded.
I enjoyed it.
Delightful character. Good when I was in there as well, wasn't it, on that other radio show? Of course, the
Alex is a character. He's a great island character. Yeah, terrific.
He does seem like he's sat there now, though, reclining, exposed. It's not like his genitalia is literally exposed, but he looks like a really confident gorilla, doesn't he? Sort of leaning back in his studio.
But he denies that he's from the Isle of Wight.
He does deny it. Why don't he admit that he's from the Isle of Wight?
The mayor and the High Sheriff were here, I'm sure they'd want to take issue with that.
I think the mayor and the High Sheriff should go in there and washing machine him about his studio floor. Give him such a kicking. Give him some rough justice. That's what that man needs, for heaven's sake. Right then, we nearly finished the radio show. Right, what a wonderful show it's been. Thank you everyone who's been joining us for this live Isle of Wight show. David Icke, you've been fantastic. Thank you for bringing your message of peace and confusing ideas combined in a heady cocktail. Thank you, Privy Councillor Roger, and another lovely fella, David, the High Sheriff. But I didn't shoot the deputy. Thank you all of you. Thanks for your messages, Mr. G. What a wonderful poem. Thank you, David Mitchell. Isn't he lovely?
Lovely.
Oh, don't you? I want to give him such a little cuddle. I want to cuddle him a bit too hard, don't you? Pull him in too tight. I'll give David Mitchell a lovely bath, get him all so he's a bit warm like a baby, then put talc on him, and then just cuddle him.
Yes.
Not in
We're
a
still
George
on the
Bush
air.
Senior way. Sorry, I do apologise. I thought we were at home now mention. Right, okay then.
Oh, you didn't thank me.
Well done. What do you want? Thanks after the way.
Rosette.
Well, you'll get something. You will be rewarded for your contributions, perhaps in the next life. Thank you very much, Matt Morgan. Thank you, all of you. Remember, be suspicious. Oh, let's let David Icke introduce the news. He's good at it. Don't put the music in until David Icke has finished. David Icke, would you like to throw out the news? Where's our special bit of newspaper? That's all right, let's just let David Icke improvise it. He won't do anything mad. Go on then, David Icke. The news is coming up now.
OK, this is Radio 2, the end of this 2 hours of madness. We now go into a few minutes of madness, which is the version of events in the world that the establishment want us to believe.
That is some news. David Icke, everyone!